A youngster is seen skating across a sizable expanse at the start of the tale. After waiting for him, his friends show up and start debating where they have all been and who has the best narrative. The first child describes how Batman is a shadow, and the second child describes how Man-Bat saved everyone. In the third tale, Batman appears as a robot. At the conclusion of each of these tales, a window in this large space is broken, and Batman emerges. As a criminal is about to strike Batman, smoke suddenly fills the air, and the youngster we first saw skateboarding hits the culprit square in the head. Batman then takes up the criminal and departs after saying thank you, and that he owes this kid something. All of the child's friends rush up to him at the conclusion to ask what happened, and he replies, "Have I got a story to tell you?" Lieutenant James Gordon personally selected Crispus Allen and Ana Ramirez as partners and members of the Major Crimes Unit. The two are tasked with returning the recently apprehended Man in Black, who turns out to be an escaped Arkham Asylum convict with a background in cutting-edge electronics and explosives named Jacob Feely. They debate whether Batman can be trusted as they go. Allen claims that they are merely carrying out a vigilante's orders, to which Ramirez responds that Batman has improved Gotham. Allen announces his decision to leave the MCU as they are returning, and Ramirez pulls into a barren lot to confront Allen. The Russian mob and Sal Maroni's group, however, engage in a massive gun battle, and the two find themselves in the middle of it. Maroni hides behind Allen and Ramirez's police car after his men are shot dead, which the Russian later destroys with a rocket launcher. While Allen is saved by Batman, who then dispatches the Russian and his men, Ramirez and Maroni are able to escape in time. Sal Maroni then makes a threat to kill Ramirez, but Batman stops him. Batman acknowledges Allen and Ramirez as the cops Gordon personally selected, says Gordon is an excellent judge of character, and then vanishes. Lucius Fox gets the idea to build a gadget using the satellite's gyro with an enhanced sound sensor that will electromagnetically deflect small arms fire after an accident involving a new Wayne-Com satellite's gyroscopic electromagnetic guiding system. Bruce Wayne takes the tool and goes to Ronald Marshall's charity golf outing. There, he talks to Marshall about the unexplained passing of Teresa Williams, a local activist who had opposed some of Marshall's ideas. Wayne sneakily snatches Marshall's PDA during the competition. Later that night, while posing as Batman, he steals a boat belonging to Sal Maroni, drives it next to a boat owned by the Russian mob's boss, the Russian, and then uses his new invention to attack both groups simultaneously. He makes an effort to broker an agreement between the two gang leaders so that Sal Maroni and the Russian may fight over who gets the best bed at Blackgate Penitentiary once he has evidence against them. When one of Maroni's soldiers fires at him, the conversation is interrupted. As a result of the bullet's deflection, one of the Russian's troops is hit. Batman transports the hurt man to the hospital in a distressed manner. Later, he gives the gadget back to Fox and says, "It works too well. I'm willing to risk my life to do what I must. But it has to be mine, none of yours." When Cardinal O'Fallon was preaching in a cathedral when there was a riot, the police were called. Eyewitness accounts claim that the Cardinal was kidnapped into the cathedral's underground crypts by a gigantic monster. Ana Ramirez, Crispus Allen, and Lieutenant Gordon conduct an investigation. Gordon speaks briefly with Batman, who concurs with Gordon's hypothesis that the riot was caused by the Scarecrow's fear toxin because the Doctor has been missing ever since the disturbance at the Narrows. Batman gives Gordon an earpiece that will allow them to stay in contact and descends below ground, trying to find Cardinal O'Fallon and his abductor. A homeless man living in an abandoned subway station identifies the abductor as Killer Croc. Batman and Gordon briefly discuss the villain's past, but are cut off when Killer Croc ambushes Batman. Batman realizes Croc is affected by the Scarecrow's fear poison during the battle. Batman eventually beats him, but not before being bitten and receiving part of the venom. The Scarecrow then sees Cardinal O'Fallon being tried and given the death penalty. Batman rushes to the Cardinal's defense. He ignites an explosion that damages numerous water lines by using the methane that is already in the space, which allows him to escape with the Cardinal by flooding the area. Gordon shows up in a chopper to get the Cardinal as the Scarecrow flees. Batman declines Gordon's offer of assistance and says, "Maybe next time." A man having a hallucination shoots Batman in the stomach in Gotham's sewers. Batman, who is severely hurt, cauterizes the wound and makes an effort to emerge from underground while thinking back on his past experiences with pain management. First, he recalls helping out with a relief effort in the Middle East as a volunteer and helping a surgeon conduct a procedure without anesthetic. Then he considers the teachings he took away from Cassandra, a woman who was expelled from her community for pretending to be a male in an effort to become a faker. She teaches him to regulate his agony over the course of several months, allowing him to stand on hot coals or sleep on a bed of needles without flinching. One night, several young men appear to harass Cassandra, who takes their blows without seeming to feel them. Bruce steps in to defend her, not only demonstrating his ability to withstand their attacks, but defeating them all with his martial arts skills. Cassandra then tells him to leave, saying that he has learned what he came to learn. She continues by saying that although Bruce's suffering was more than she, or perhaps even he, could manage, it also seemed to be taking him in the direction he wanted. Back in the present, Batman finds himself in a gutter where he finds a stash of weapons hidden among the trash. When Alfred then shows up to help him, he orders Batman to extend his hand so he may pull him out of the gutter. But Batman refuses because his arms are loaded with weapons. A flashback to the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents occurs. He looks over the guns he stole from the gutter of an underground tunnel and plans to give them in to the police at his apartment. Wayne acknowledges to Alfred that despite his promise to never use one in honor of his parents, he can still comprehend the temptation. Deadshot, a brilliant assassin from another city, kills Mayor Manning in a breathtakingly difficult shot from a moving Ferris wheel that is actually kilometers distant from the victim before returning to his tropical base. One of his friends there hires him to execute a hit in Gotham. Batman is enlisted to defend Lieutenant Gordon after it is discovered that the Russian has issued a hit on him. Batman gives Crispus Allen Ronald Marshall's handheld PDA device, containing a link to encrypted emails proving that Ronald Marshall hired Deadshot in the past. He then follows Gordon's motorcade, with Alfred providing satellite imagery assistance using the new Waynecom satellites. Gordon is shot by Deadshot while riding in a moving train, but Batman deflects the shot. Then, with joy, Deadshot confesses that Batman was actually his true goal the entire time, and the threat to Gordon was just a ploy to bring him out. As the train enters a tunnel, he starts firing, and when Batman tries to charge at Deadshot, he is shot and falls from the train. Deadshot advances to where he saw Batman fall while gloating about shooting Batman, but is suddenly ambushed and disarmed from behind by Batman. Now terrified, Deadshot confesses that he was hired by the Russians to kill Batman and tries to talk Batman out of killing him since he was only doing his job. Batman knocks out Deadshot after becoming enraged by his cowardice, and both he and Ronald Marshall are later taken into custody. Wayne later tells Alfred how the struggle in the tunnel reminded him of the night his parents were killed. Alfred shares his frustration and adds that he believes Bruce is acting for a higher good. Bruce is shown at the movie's ending observing the bat signal while gazing up into the sky.